This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength, Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I wanted to talk on this clip that's going viral of Extra Emily trying to say a drink name. I don't know what the drink name is, but the first part of it sounds like you're saying the N-word. And so, she was saying the name of the drink, but she stopped when she just said the first half. She started panicking. Once I think it was Your Rage and Senna, they turned around and looked at her. And and you can like hear it in her voice, like she wasn't in character. Like that was Emily actually talking. That wasn't no extra Emily. That was just Emily. And, you know, the thing is this, I guess if I'm there, I probably wouldn't even have paid attention to it. You know, I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, where do I need to go next? Or how am I going to continue on this stream? Whatever the case is and stuff. But I'm not going to be thinking of no stuff like that. And, you know, I get that Rage and Senna, they jokingly turned around and looked at her. But it's still one of those things where it's like it concerns people, you know, and I'm not trying to blame them. But I'm just saying, you know, I guess like for the future, maybe not do that. Don't abruptly turn around and look at somebody and things. Because I feel like if they would have just ignored it, then she wouldn't have panicked like she did. You know, and that's the thing where I'm like, I wouldn't want to turn around. I guess like if I know that that's like if that's our sense of humor, we joke around with stuff like that, and I know that they ain't mean no ill intentions behind it, then yeah, you know. But that's the thing, like I don't know everybody's sense of humor, so I'll joke around with friends. Yeah, there's some friends that I would do that to, but then there's other friends where I'm like, I don't really know you like that. I mean, overall, like yeah, you know, I feel like that they've all been cool for a while and stuff, but yeah, at the end of the day, though, it's like still, it could be friends that because yeah, there was people that I had met the same day where our sense of humor was tested. And then there's friends that I've known for years where I still don't know where our sense of humor lands at. So I'm like, I don't know if I can crack this joke. I don't know if I can't crack this joke. It's one of those things where I'm like, I guess like I let them break the ice first before I do anything, you know, and maybe they're kind of doing the same with me. They waiting for me to break the ice. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, everybody's sense of humor is different. So, you know, like, I guess, like, with anybody else, it would be okay. But, yeah, like, that's something that a lot of people, they worry about because they're not trying to offend anybody. And they're not trying to, because I think that's what she was talking on. Like, she didn't want no, like, thread to get created of her and stuff. And I'm like, for as long as I've been a fan of Extra Emily's content, she's never struck me as somebody that's racist. Like, that's why I'm like, and even the way, like, it was like she didn't even exactly say the word, you know, like, that. It's just because I know that there's going to be people out there that's going to, because, no, there were people in the comment sections of the video where they were trying to, like, make her, you know, out as a suspect in that whole situation. And I'm like, fam, she didn't mean anything ill behind it. It's one thing if she's pointing at somebody and calling them the N-word. She's trying to say a drink name. How can that be bad? Especially, I'm like, if we're going to get technical with it, if there's anybody to blame, it's the company that made that drink. Why would you make a drink name that sounds similar? It has a striking resemblance as the N-word. That's why I'm like, fam, it's just, there's certain, and you know, I know people are going to try to defend that and be all like, oh, well, it's a foreign drink, so that's why. I'm like, okay, well, my thing is this. When it comes down to Extra Emily, she didn't mean nothing about it, you know? So if you're going to defend that drink name, I'm going to defend Extra Emily. And it's just one of those things we just going to have to agree to disagree. We're going to have to just have a mutual agreement. You go your way and I go my way. If you want to think that she's a racist, fam, there's a lot of people out there where it's like they are displaying racism, and it's like, how come you ain't calling out those people versus you want to pick on a streamer where it's like she didn't mean anything ill behind it. She's saying a drink name. So that's why I'm like, but if we just go throughout her career and stuff, like, and that's something where I feel like that through, like when a content creator is blowing up, because I feel like over the years, yes, Extra Emily has blown up a lot. And that's one thing that I've never seen is her being canceled for something. You know, I guess like her being called out for something. Like I ain't seeing no old tweets, old videos, old Twitch clips, none of that of her. If anything, I think that's what people are probably looking for is her, you know, acting normal, you know, like cuz she has like that like positive character about her and stuff. So I think that's for the most part what people be looking for with her is her just acting normal, her using her normal voice, like she like not being not like being negative, but just overall just acting normal and stuff. So I think that's, if anything, is what people be looking for. But as far as like racism, she doesn't strike me as somebody that's racist. So that's why I was kind of confused by the video blowing up, because I'm like, she didn't mean anything behind it. It kind of reminds me of the one content creator, Sweet Anita, where people were trying to call her out for so that was her situation. So Sweet Anita has Tourette syndrome, and so she at times will blurt out things, say random stuff, make random sound effects, and you'll just have to like see her clips and her videos of her trying to have a better understanding of it and stuff. But no, overall though, people were trying to call her out because and I think that's what it was that people were spamming the N-word in her chat, and so it triggered her Tourette's, and she ended up saying the N-word, and everybody was trying to get on her about it and stuff. And I'm like, okay, for one, if people are triggering her to say it, not her fault. If she has Tourette syndrome and she randomly blurts it out, not her fault. If she's looking at a group of black people and she randomly just points at them and calls them all the N-word, then that's when it becomes a problem. But and that was the funny thing about it, was like, even outside of her proving her innocence, she's half black. So like, it's the funny thing is that that's the thing where it's like, if you see her, she looks like she could be white, you know. But my thing is this: even if she wasn't half black, even if it was a situation where she was white, still there's no reason to be mad at her. The woman has she has a disorder. She has a Tourette syndrome. So it's like, how am I going to get mad at somebody for something where it's like they can't even control it? Yeah, there might be medication and all that other stuff that can help with it and things, but still, there's going to be days where it's like, you know, it might be a little bit stronger than other days. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's just with certain situations and occasions, it's like, it shouldn't be brought up. But I'm like, fam, the amount of times where I've seen content creators where they actually do say the N-word and then they try to justify their sayings of the N-word, and I'm like, fam, how come them content creators don't get called out? There's so many different content creators probably on an everyday basis that actually mean something ill behind them saying the N-word. Nobody ever calls them out. But Extra Emily says she's pronouncing a drink name and it somewhat sounds like the N-word, and people want to call her out for it. That's why I was like, yeah, when I seen that video, I'm like, no, I know I need to either do a video of my own or do a podcast episode, some sort of social media post jumping to her defense. Because, yeah, she's not racist. Extra, I don't even know who she is, but just based off of the clips, unless we see videos of her like where she is being racist and is saying racist things, that'll be the only way that I'll believe that she's a racist. But if she's trying to pronounce a drink name and then it somewhat sounds like the N-word, fam, no. That's kind of like, and I think it was Cash Nasty when he was, I think it was when he was in a relationship with it was I don't know if she still does content creating, but there's this content creator, I think her name was like, I think she went by like Ash Nasty or something like that. But no, people were asking her like, oh, what is Steve Kerr's son's name? And I think his son's name is Nick Kerr. And so, you know, most people, when you hear that, it's like, oh, that's why people wanted her to say it. But yeah, they were like saying that like, oh, what does this name spell out? Or I can't remember how they got her to say the name. But she ended up saying it. Then she realized what she said. And I'm like, fam, you shouldn't even feel bad. People are trying to set you up to say it because they're trying to get you canceled. Like and it's funny because I had seen this And that's why I'm like, that might be a new name for haters, but anti-fans. You'll have people watching, waiting for your downfall. And I think that's what they were overall trying to do. Probably some people that didn't like the idea of Cash Nasty dating a white woman. But yeah, they were trying to get her to get canceled. So they're like, oh yeah, and I'm like, but don't you think, like, with context, people are going to see what was going on? They're going to be like, well, how is that her fault? Like, I mean, like, yeah, I guess, like, people are going to try to blame her. She shouldn't have read it out. But I'm like, okay, for those that don't know how streaming works, so when you start up a stream and people get to typing and chatting and stuff, I know there's at times where I'll just read what a person say and just respond to it. And then there's other times when I'll read out what the person has said. But and that's the thing too, where I'm like, I guess, like, with me, I get a pass because I'm black, but I maybe if it's something else, then, or some other, racist, derogatory, like, racist names for other races and stuff, yeah, people might try to catch me slipping or slacking and stuff. But that's the thing though, with and not even just with streaming, but just overall with content creating, is that you're going to have people watching you, I guess, waiting for your downfall. And then on top of that, too, it's like with her, it's, she's just trying to be polite to the viewer. And you see that with most streamers, where they'll read out what the person is saying. Then you see other times, like I said with me, where it's like sometimes they read it out, sometimes they don't read it out. But my thing is that why would somebody be trying to set her up for failure when all she did, like, and that's, I remember, like, during them days of Cash Nasty and his girlfriend at the time, Ash Nasty, where all they just did was sit down and play video games. What's wrong with that? And that's the thing where I'm like, people be having, like, their own personal issues with somebody, because that'll be the only people, getting back to Extra Emily, that'll be the only people they'll be trying to, make this situation into something that it's not, is people that don't like her, anti-fans, haters. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what is there that, because I've seen some Extra Emily hate before, and that's one thing that I do like about her, is that she ignores it. She still continues, because I'm like, okay, well, look at where she's at and look at where you're at. You're underneath her clips commenting. She is the clip. She is the talent. She is the entertainment. My thing is this. Who's going to the comment sections looking for your comment? Nobody. Everybody, when they go to an Extra Emily stream, they're there for Extra Emily. When they're going to an Extra Emily YouTube video, they're there for Extra Emily. When they're going to an Extra Emily TikTok, they're there for Extra Emily. They're not there for you. So that's one thing that I'm like, people need to understand, is that it's not about you, and I feel like a lot of people will be thinking along the lines like, oh, she said something that sounds like the N-word. I gotta get offended. I gotta get that. You're somebody that can get easily upset. And I'm like, I don't think Extra Emily is the problem. I think it's you that's the problem. Even if it's somebody, because I'm like, throughout the years of me being a content creator, yes, I've been called the N-word. Yes, I've had racist comments get said about me left and right. I had to say the worst was, and I'm like, man, I just didn't think I could make somebody that upset. But there was a anti-fan / hater that commented underneath my video, and it trips me out that, people, they get so shocked by it when I tell them and stuff. But I remember somebody, I think they said I either deserve a noose or I deserve to get hanged. I can't remember what it was exactly that they said, but I just remember it involved me being hanged. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, this is all because of some content. Like, this is all because of some YouTube videos. Like, you're mad because I'm TMossBoss and I make YouTube videos. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't think that's a reason to be that upset to where you want somebody to die behind it and stuff. But no, yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, you got people out there that watch you and they have this strange hatred towards you and stuff. So I think that'll be the only people that'll be trying to promote this clip for the wrong reasons, is people that don't like Extra Emily. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to watch her content. Like, you know what her content is about. It's not going to change. Her content is for people that actually do like her and they rock with her content and they're a fan of who she is and the content that she promotes. It's not meant for you. So that's why it trips me out when people, they get so offended and upset, not even by that clip, but just by Extra Emily. They get so offended and upset by who she is. And it's like, how does that affect your day-to-day life? Extra Emily just existing. Like, that's the stuff that I would like to know. Those are the questions that needs some answers and stuff. How does Extra Emily affect your day-to-day life? If you're a kid in school or a kid in college or an adult at your 9-to-5 job or starting a business, you got all these things that you could be worried about. There's so many different things that you can put your mind towards. you want to sit around and hate on Extra Emily, and all she's doing is sitting around. I'm like, hold on for a second. Let's just see if she's streaming right now, because I do have Twitch open. She ain't streaming at the moment, but I think when she was streaming, maybe a day or two ago. I don't know. Like, I don't really be following a whole lot of people in the streaming scene. I do follow Extra Emily. I am a fan of Extra Emily, and I know people are gonna probably be all like, "Oh, you a fanboy? You trying to get with her and all this other stuff?" Fam, the thing is this. That's one thing that I've learned throughout the years of being a content creator and overall being a fan of content creators is that it's going to be on rare occasions when you meet people that you've met through content creating. There's people that I have known for years. I still remember the very first fan that I've gained through content creating. Like, and his name is Chris. I've never met him. I don't like that. He lives like somewhere off. I guess like if we're ever in the same area, I was getting ready to put out his info and stuff. But no, he lives like somewhere else and things. Let's just say that. This was the very first, because I remember I had talked on it was that squad that hacked Xbox and stuff. I think it was Xbox, Grand Theft Auto. Who else did they hack? They was going around just hacking and going crazy and stuff. But anyways, a Lizard Squad. That was the name of that hacking group. But yeah, they hacked Xbox. I was doing a lot of different videos talking about them. And then Chris, he was commenting underneath a lot of my videos. Like, we were just overall having a conversation about that squad. Next thing you know, I'm not even calling them a fan no more. I'm calling this guy a friend. Like, he showed support through my content over the years. I think he was even one of the people that congratulated me for getting my 100K plaque. Like, he's been around for a while. So but I always give him credit for being one of my first fans. But overall, getting back to what I was saying, I never met him. So that's the thing where I'm like, people are thinking I'm doing this one day to meet Extra Emily or to get with her or whatever the case is. No, I just know how it feels to be pushed into a corner and people want you to apologize and you didn't even do anything wrong. I understand that feeling. So that's what I more so wanted to talk on. And that's the thing. I learned to live with, like, there's people in this world that I'm never going to meet, because there's people that left this world where I would have loved to have met them. I'm like, freaking, if we can just talk on, like, because it's Black History Month, talk on some black leaders and stuff, with all forms of entertainment. Let's just start off with like probably one of the most historical leaders in the black community, Martin Luther King. I would have loved to have met Martin Luther King, but I couldn't, because for one, I'm like, I think my parents, they were, I think 3 in 1961. It was the whole, because I'm trying to do the math. 3 and 7. So that's why I'm all like, yeah, ain't no way that would be some crazy stuff. 3 years, I'm like, yeah, I'm being born all the way back then and stuff. I wasn't born until the 90s. But fast forward, some people that were alive during my time, Bernie Mac, Michael Jackson. I'm trying to think of some other people. That was one guy where I'm like, I didn't even know that he was the voice of the Titan Guardian in Destiny. Dang, I can't think of that guy's name, but he was in the John Wick movies and stuff. He was that guy. He was like I was getting ready to say he got into a shootout with John Wick, like he was side by side with him, but that would have been a horrible example, because I think every scene in John Wick, it involves shooting Lance Reddick. Okay, so I was like, I should have just looked up his name and stuff, but yeah, I didn't know that he was the voice of the Titan Guardian in Destiny. Hold on for a second, let me just see what Commander Zavala. So yeah, I was like, and that's one of my favorite video games. So if I would have known that, if I had known that he was the voice of that character, I'm telling you right now, like I would, that's somebody that I would have loved to have met, because he did actually a lot of different stuff for video games. And dang, he was in Payday. He was in one of 50. There was like that second 50 Cent game and stuff, but. Yeah, there's a lot of different, black leaders that I would have liked to. I don't even know where I was going with that. I completely lost my train of thought. But getting back to Extra Emily, yeah, bro, the hate surrounding her, the hate is forced. I think that's what we're going to talk, or what we're going to title this episode. The Extra Emily hate is forced, because, yeah, it's you. If you go around hating on Extra Emily, it's like, nah, bro, it ain't her that's the problem. It's you, because excuse me, I know people gonna be all like, oh, she this age acting like how she acts and stuff. And then, because I know everybody, they always like, that's like the new insult, I guess, for people of the older ages and stuff, like, oh, you pushing 30 doing this, you pushing this age doing this, you pushing. And I'm like, and it's like, it's doing good for me, so if it's listening to you guys where I don't know what that dark abyss is going to lead to, or doing what I've been doing and then keep going into a successful direction, I think I'm going to continue going into the successful direction. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube, follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.